In times, it may be very hard to stay present. We find ourselves maybe thinking too much about the past or overthinking about our future. If it's difficult for you to stay present, I got you covered in this video. In this video, I'll be giving you 5 tips on how to stay present. Before we get into the video, please don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified when I post my video on Mondays. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Let's get into the video. Do not dwell on the past. Do not dream in the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Buddha. The first tip I have for you is to slow down and take your time. We can often find ourselves trying to move fastly or move too swiftly to get things done because we feel like time is so limited and we don't have enough time in our days to do everything that we need to do. But we have more than enough time to do what we need to do and to do it efficiently if we just slow down and take our time. You often find yourself rushing to do things and then you make mistakes and then you have to go over what you did before. So it's a great practice to think about it in times where you feel like you're rushing or speeding off to go to work, to slow down and take your time and get there or get the task done safely and efficiently. The next tip I have for you is tip number 2. This tip is to be mindful of your surroundings and pay attention to your thoughts. We can often find ourselves running away with our thoughts and our mind is constantly going. Think about your mind like a hamster in a wheel that's constantly running and running and running with no place to go, no objective. By being mindful of our surroundings, we pay attention to what's going on around us. We're more vigilant. When we pay attention to our thoughts, we're able to make choices of what we want to think because our mind is a constant manifestation of what we want for ourselves. So if we need to change the way that we think, by changing the way that we think and being more mindful of our thoughts, we're able to change our reality. This leads me to tip number 3, which is to take one task at a time. Often we try to multitask and think that we're getting more done in our day by doing multiple things at the same time, when in actuality, you are a master at nothing. When we don't focus on one task at a time, we don't give that task our all. We're just doing just enough to complete the task, not saying that the task would be done to our best ability. The next tip I have for you, which is another great tip, and this is tip number 4, is to feed your senses. This is a great way to stay present because now you're focusing on what you smell. You're focusing on what you see around you. Now you're focusing on what you're saying. Now you're focusing on what you're thinking, what you're doing, what you're touching. And you pay attention to these senses, which will help you to stay present. So the tip number 4 is to stay present by feeding all your senses. The last and final tip that I have for you, which is tip number 5, is to plan and make a to-do list. By scheduling out your day, you're able to stay present and do tasks by the importance of them to make sure you're getting everything that you need to get done and prioritize accordingly. I use these tips to stay present and they help me out a lot whenever I start to feel like I'm rushing at work or I'm speeding on the road trying to get somewhere, I always remember to stay present, and I use these techniques to do it. I hope this helps you, and I'll see you in next week's video. But before I go, remember, change starts in your mind. You change your mind and you change your whole life. Stay present. I love you.